الإدارة الحالية أنا ولا مقال كتبته لأنها إدارة جديدة.
الوضع الاتحاد على فكرة واحد.
كل ما انتقدهم انا اخدم نفسي بعدين على اساس انهم يهتموا فيني.
هناك سلبيات وهناك ايجابيات وهناك حلول.
السلام عليكم مشاهدينا الكرام. حلقة اليوم من برنامج على تماس حلقة استثنائية نستضيف من خلالها مدرب منتخبنا الوطني الأول لكرة القدم الكرواتي برانكو إيفانكوفيتش. سنتعرف على مشوار هذا المدرب وأيضا أهدافه وطموحاته المستقبلية مع منتخبنا الوطني الأول. Coach Branko Ivankovic, we are happy having you with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for invitation to your broadcast, and I hope so. We will have good days here in Oman with the national team, with football, and with everything.
Inshallah. Before starting with football, I would like to know what's your impression about Oman. You have been here for more than one time.
Yes, fortunately, I was here. I have been here 4 or 5 times with Persepolis. First we had a preparation in Sur, then we play here Champions League against Hilal and Al Ahly, and from that time I have a really good impression about the Oman people, and I'm really happy to be here, to have a chance to join to Omanian football, and I hope so, as I said before, I expect to have good days in football.
Inshallah. Before starting with our national team, let's go back to the beginnings. How did you start being a coach, and why you have chosen this career?
It was something what is my time was something natural, because before I was football player playing second Yugoslavian league. 13th season I started as a very young player with the 17 years old in high school, and naturally, and then I went to the university kinesiology, and finished the university with special part of university football, and then I worked 5 years in the school with the kids as a physical educator. And then same time I was coach, and I started in my club.
Which is Vartex, I believe.
Vartex, yes. Yeah. That time was Vartex, now is Varaždin. And I started as a coach, very young, with the 30 years old. And of course, then changed just 2-3 clubs, not more. And last, before I moved out of the club, was 7 years, qualified for the Croatia First Division, Premier League. And I was coach at the time 7 years in a row, and we built a club which became one of the best club in Croatia at that time.
You mean Vartex?
Vartex, yes.
Okay, then, and I believe you had some very good players who considered to be the dream team or part of the dream team for Croatia. Is it right?
Yes, I found young players from my city, also with some players from another cities, but I had a big lucky, because at the same time I was coach in Vartex Varaždin, and I was coach in national team Croatia with Mr. Blažević together, and I was 7 years coach, and as a coach national team participated in the Euro 1996 in England, and also 1998 in France, where we took third place That time it
Okay,
was
before the World Cup, coach, in France, 1998, you spent a long time with the club, starting from Bartix, and usually the beginnings, let's say, difficult and can maybe by a way or another guide you to your way. And you could reach the national team, being as an assistant coach before the World Cup. What did it mean to you in that time, being part of the national team of Croatia, and you were going to participate in the World Cup?
that time, as you know, the Croatia has a really hard time because it was a war, because we separated from the Yugoslavia, and the international impression was so high. And I was really proud to be one part of the football national team, especially, you know, because everybody expect to show and to present Croatia as a new country, because we had a very big history in football and in as a nation. And it was a big satisfy for me, and I was very proud to be national team coach. And as I said, what was my big advance, because same time I was coaching the club and in the national team. Why is important? Because in national team I recognize what is the standard of national team, because that time we had excellent players who play in the best clubs in Europe, like Boban, Jarnin, AC Milan, Juventus, Bokšić, Juventus, Stimac, Jerkan. They play in Spain, Bilic in Germany, you know, really Vlahovic also in Spain, in Valencia. We had extra stars.
So you had a very, let's say, very unique team and strong team as well.
That time I recognize standard of what is the national team players, what is the club players.
Very good. We'll come to the World Cup again and how it goes with you match by match, but after a while.
You know, because it was the first big competition for us, and nobody knows how far we can go with our performance. You know,
and it was the first time in the World Cup.
Yeah, first time in 1990. First competition was in England, 1996, European Championship. Then we also played very well, excellent. We beat the European champion Denmark. You know, we lose against Germany 2-1 in quarterfinals. Now in France, we didn't know exactly. Okay, we are big optimists. We know that we have a good team, we have good players, but you know, this is World Cup, this is football. You never know. And we went game by game, and after the qualifier for the second stage, of course, everything was open. You know, and we play very good against Romania. We beat Germany 3-0. You know, it was an amazing game. And we lost against France 2-1. Lilian Thuram, you know, he scored two goals.
Yeah.
He never scored, even during the practice, you know.
Yeah.
But against us, he scored twice, and he was the man of the game. And it game was maybe not easier, but was not so strong. You know, we have much harder games against Germany, against Japan, for example. But we lose this game against France. As you know, the France after that beat Brazil 3-0.
Yeah.
You know, with the amazing players like Zidane, like Deschamps, you know, Thuram, Henry. You know, really they had Blanc. They had amazing team, world champion team. But we play in the same level with France.
And then you met Netherlands in the third
Netherlands
place.
for the third
match.
place. We had lucky this game because Netherlands also they had excellent team. Maybe the best team in the World Cup that time. But you know, as you know, this is football, and you never know what's going on. We beat them 2-0, 2-1, and it was something amazing. You know, when we took third place, you know, more than 1 million people went to the street to say hello, to celebrate with us after this.
Okay, so you made the history. Let's say the start, because later on Croatia was the runner-up for the World Cup, the previous one. But you have started, you made a great beginning, a great start for your national team. This thing will lead us to something in football. Sometimes you may not be, let's say, People and media may not expect you to do very good in some competitions, but when you work really hard, when you plan, when you have strategies, you can get very good results, as you did in 1998.
Yes, we had excellent generation. That time, really big players, but this is not enough for the result. The most important to create the team. If you created the team, team can do everything, and these players. Maybe you don't know. 1989, they took they took a championship as a youth under 20 in World Cup in Chile, and from this team was 7 players from Croatia, some players from Serbia, Montenegro, but 7 was from Croatia. They have habits and attitude as a champion. This is the most important. And a lot of many
from the early beginnings.
Yes, and also these players was a European champion. They champion in the Italy that time. Italy was strong league. They are champion as a person. This is the most important. They have a lot of self-confidence, and just Mr. Blažević put them together to one mind, and really their performance during the game was excellent.
Very good. After the World Cup, I believe it was your first step outside Croatia with Hanover, right?
Yes, I was Hanover 1 year, almost 1 year, and then went with Mr. Blažević to Iran.
So you work with Blažević for
7 years.
7 years.
Yes.
There is a strong relationship between you and him.
Yes, we have a very strong relationship. He's an amazing man, one of the best coaches in all of the world. And I want to move with him to outside to see, especially this region. It was the leitmotiv for me to go with him, and I was really satisfied. And of course, I had the lucky to work with him because it's very important to see philosophy, to see style of the working, and his philosophy and my philosophy is very close.
And then you started, let's say, a new period for your coaching career by coaching Iran and having so many achievements with Iran. We'll continue talking about Iran and the years you spent, and you achieved so many things with them, but after a while. Back again, coach. So with Iran, you could win the Asian Games on 2002. You get the third place in Asian Cup 2004. You qualified for the World Cup 2006, and you did a very good job there.
Yes, I'm very proud of that time because after the qualifying games 2001, Mr. Blažević couldn't continue as a national team coach because he had some healthy problems, and I stay as a national team coach. And this year, 2002, only competition which we had was Asian Games in Busan, in Korea. And in the same time, I was coaching under 23 and coach national team coach as a head coach. And we prepare our team on the right way and took championship. It was a big surprise, especially in Korea. Because Korea this year was officially fourth on the World Cup. They play on tournament with 8 players who participate during the World Cup. And in Korea, we beat them on penalty kick and in semi-final. And it was amazing result. I think after 30 years, the Iran took gold medal in some competition. And also in these next 4 years, we made the result, I think, the best result in last 40 years as Iran national team. We took third place in China during the Asian Cup. We had a very hard game against Oman. 2-2.
Tell us about that game.
It was a key play. It was key game for Iran. After that, we played 0-0 with Japan, qualified for the next stage, and then we deserved to play in the final because the referee killed us in China against China, but it's okay. And then qualified for the World Cup 2006, and really this 4 years was fantastic. Also, we took championship.
Before the
West
World Cup,
Asia.
coach, before the World Cup, again to the Asian Cup, and the match between Iran and Oman. What was your impression about those players from our national team, and what was the image you took about Oman on that year and on that competition?
As I said, we played 2-2. Oman led 2-0 against us.
Yes.
Mr. Machala was coach at that time, and I was impressed. This game was the most harder game for us during the Asian Cup. Harder than game against China, harder than game against Japan. Japan that time had the best generation in history of Japan. Also, they were officially playing quarterfinals during the World Cup in Korea and Japan, 2002. It was really amazing, and from that time I remember that Oman has a potential, for sure, potential, with the good preparation, with the good patience, with the build a team. They can do something to be competitive with any other teams in Asia. Especially that time, it was 15 years ago, and I'm sure that now the Oman created, built it, developed some new players, and also I expect that we can do something together. It was an amazing time in Iran. 4 years, I was national team coach for Iran. Fantastic result. After that, my contract all finished, and I couldn't work more as a national team coach. I want to back to the club, to work daily, to work with clubs with the daily obligation. And
you returned back to Dinamo Zagreb, I believe.
Yes, then that time I was kind of to be coach of the national team after the World Cup because Mr. Kranjčar left for the national team, but I prefer to work in the club, Dinamo Zagreb, the biggest club in Croatia, big club.
Why you prefer to work with the club?
Because I want to work every day. You know, this is something what I want to be every day in moving with the players, contact, working. Because it's my job. I love this job, and they didn't make this job not make me tired.
Is there a big difference between coaching a national team and a club?
Difference methodology is different. You know what I mean? Club is daily work. You can prepare. You can see in future, and you know what you can do. As a national team coach, as I said before, okay, Oman is different. Iran was different that time. But also last 2 years in Iran as a national team coach, I didn't have so many times players in my hand to work daily because they play most of them in Europe, and of course only during the FIFA days they can join us. In Croatia, same. You have only 2-3 days for the preparation, different methodology. You have to make a fast decision. You have to thinking to see who is in the form, who is not in the form. You have to thinking because some players has a full program playing, some players doesn't have. You know, this is a problem when you in national, and you have to choose which kind of exercise and to see what you can do in short time. This is a different. In club, you can predictable, you can prepare, you can make a program, individual program, group program, team program.
Okay, the big challenge, you did very good job with Iran, but again, back to clubs, you did as well very good with Dinamo Zagreb. You could win more than one title. So Branko Ivankovic, as a national team coach, he's doing well, and as club coach, he's doing well as well, which is very difficult for some coaches.
As I said before, I had the big lucky in when I almost beginning as a coach. Why? Because in same time I was coaching the club, working daily, and to help Mr. Blažević as a national team coach. You know what I mean? And this is something, both methodology I accept, both methodology I used, and it was my advance if I compare myself with my colleague also, because some colleague or coach on the club or coach in the national team. This is something what was excellent for me. When I became the Dinamo Zagreb coach, big club that this year we took a championship, we took a club cup, and also Super Cup automatically. But what was also interesting in Dinamo Zagreb, we had we won in 28 games in row competition. Only Benfica 60 years ago made 29. And you know what's happened?
What
we played 29 game in my city against Vartix and lose 4-3. At that time, Vartix,
they stopped you, huh?
yes, stopped. At that time, Vartix was bottom on the table without any win, and they won against us 4-3, and they scored in last second by a free kick. And if we won against Vartix, we will be also make a record to row competition. We made 28 games in row. We won.
Okay, now this regarding this point of your let's say career, I would like to tackle another point. What's your philosophy in football, coach? What's your strategy? Do you like the attacking style of playing, or the defensive one?
Before, first I would explain something more. After Dinamo Zagreb, I moved to China and also become champion in China. First year with 13 points more than second team. Then moved to Persepolis, also become champion. I'm coach who took championship in 3 different countries. It's not so many coaches who took a championship in 3 different countries. Why I'm talking about this? Because this is something what is very close with my philosophy. What is philosophy? First of all, naturally I am a player who prefer to play offensive, but of course I'm coach who can think about each part of the game, not just attack without control. We have to think about the defense fast, we have to think about the middle midfield fast, and also attacking fast. And also I'm coach who want to take a risk. Yesterday during the press conference I also explained the first short-term plan is qualify for the next stage, and then prepare the team.
We'll come to our national team, coach.
But this is something what is similar
Related,
with my philosophy.
Okay.
This is something I'm offensive coach who prefer to play offensive football. Coach who want to players who want to play aggressive football. Without aggressiveness, it's not possible to do something. I'm coach who want to put the players in their mind to be responsible, not just playing on football, to think about the team. The team is the most important if you want to make success. Not any individual players, doesn't matter who. You could see many fantastic players who are one part of the team. Only team can put individual players on high level. This is my philosophy. Also, I prefer football because it's something traditional in my country, because ex-Yugoslavia they call small Brazil before. You know, and Yugoslavia play when Pele play last game in Maracana in Rio de Janeiro. Also, I was such a player, you know. I was playmaker as a player, and I prefer such a football. You know, the football is okay, it's changed, but some things is always same, you know. And this is my philosophy, and I want to try to make and put and give the impression about the attractive football, because the football is game, the football is fun, and the people, the players should enjoy in the football, not just fight. No, they have to enjoy. This is a game, only game. But of course, in such a game, they have to think about the team and think about the responsibility to the team.
Great. Okay, coach, we'll continue talking about Persepolis, but after this break. back again, coach. So with the Persepolis, you spent a long time and you won many titles with them.
Yes, it was amazing time again with the Persepolis. Persepolis, before when I came, they had a really tough and hard time, almost dropped down to the second league. I came to the Persepolis 5 competition week before the end, and of course we stay in the league. Next season we made the fight for the championship and lose the championship because of goal difference. But I have to say something. First 6 competition week we were on the bottom with 1 point, and everybody was scared. I said after 6 competition week we will make fight for the championship. They thinking that maybe I'm crazy because we are top, maybe 15 points. Top team has better had more than Persepolis. We took second place, and next 3 years we took championship in Rome. It was very hard. After 10 years they again become champions. As you know, Persepolis has 40 million fans, and really they have excellent fans. They love football, they love players, they love coaching staff. Really they ready to die for the Persepolis.
Good.
And last season when I was in Persepolis, we took 3 titles, championship, cup, and Super Cup, and playing final in AFC Champions League. It was really fantastic result, best result Persepolis on Persepolis history. I'm very proud of it because of course this is my job, but special because of people, because of fans, because they deserve such a result, because they love Persepolis incredibly.
Great. Now let's go to our national team. You are back to the national teams after 14 years, I believe. What does that mean to you? And at the same time, being the coach of Oman national team.
I had offer from Iran national team, also to take over the job as a national team coach. Iran has a really excellent national team and big chance to make good result. But I spoke with Sheikh Salem, and I give him my words and agree with his project of the board. And this is a big challenger for me, and really I'm happy to work in the national team. As I said, this is a different job, and I think with the Oman, I want to be coach who will make a surprise result with the Oman national team. As you know, this is football. No any guarantee. I can promise what you want, but I'm serious. I can promise hard work, serious work. Try to make Oman national team which use some modern style of the playing, to be day by day closely with the Asian top teams, and also to be closer with the world football.
Okay, coach, before joining us, do you have a clear idea about our competitions, our league, our national team, the level, the quality of the players?
I check, of course, I investigated about the Omanian team, because nobody can have information about each league in the whole world. And I investigate. I know the league, 14 teams. I know that the Omanian league is not Bundesliga, it's not Premiership or something like that, but I'm sure, and what I saw first game tomorrow, I'm also going to watch and with my assistant some games. I'm sure each team has some good players, players who can play on really good level and with good preparation, with good ambition that we can do something. Oman national team during the Asian Cup, maybe not during the Gulf Cup, but during the Asian Cup, Oman team show that can play against any team. For example, against Japan, you showed just 1-0. Was against Iran. That time maybe Iran had the best team in Asia and should play in final minimum. If you saw game against Japan, it was the best game during the Asian Cup. And that time Oman showed that with some better preparation, with some refresh of the team, they can be competitive with any other team in Asia.
Very good.
This is the most important.
Good. Coach, frankly speaking, some coaches in the beginnings, they promise to do so many things, okay? But when they come, or when the results start getting worse, they keep on blaming the league, the level of the players, the quality of the players, and they do not show themselves in this situation.
I understand. This is not my habits, you know. As I said before, I can promise what we want, but this is not serious. I'm serious coach. I can promise hard work, serious work, professional work. I trust to players. I trust and believe that I can find the players who can play on a level which is enough for the Asian, first of all, level. And I don't want to think and complain about the league, about, I don't know, condition, because we are talking, I'm in Oman. I'm not in England, I'm not in Spain, in Real or Barcelona, I'm in Oman. And I know he's not playing Ronaldo, Messi, or I don't know who should play, Modric or something like that, you know. But for sure, I'm sure that, that I can find the players who will play on good level and to be competitive with all teams in Asia. Of course, we are not favorite to qualify for the World Cup, but I have ambition.
You have ambition?
I have ambition. I am not come here because of money. I have ambition to do something.
We will fight for this,
of course. Of course. I'm ready to take a risk with the players to be surprise team. And of course, if it's possible to make people happy here. This is what is my impression. Because I work for the, of course, I'm professional coach, but first of all, I think about the result and thinking how to make a good team.
Very good. Now, what's your main goals with Oman Football Association during the coming 2 years?
First, as I said, the short-term plan is to qualify for the next stage for the World Cup and qualify for the Asian Cup. Second one, middle-term plan, prepare the team for the qualify games final second stage and to be competitive. It means try to do our the best, try to be surprise team, try to do something and why we cannot think about the qualify for the World Cup. As I said, I follow the Oman or Asian Cup and the show this is not too big different, just a little bit, you know, better preparation, to be more together, to be more fighter, to put more passion during the game. This is something what is can be decisive moment to this. And long-term period after the qualified games, prepare maybe for the World Cup or prepare the team for the Asian Cup and Gulf Cup. And also one of the important things to integrate youth players to the national team. Though of course depend about the quality, but to recognize who has potential, who can be on this level, and who is a player for the future.
Very good. So now we are waiting for Afghanistan match by the end of coming March, and then we'll have a very important match against Qatar in June in the qualification.
Bangladesh also.
Or Bangladesh as well. Now the league may stop or finish by the mid of April, and we'll have 2 months before meeting Qatar, which is a very important match. Is there any plans right now for the summer?
Yes.
Some camps, some matches?
On Sunday we have a meeting with the committee, and I prepare something as a plan. Of course, now first I have planned to organize 2 camps just for 3 days. First camp, talent camp. Second 3 days just to meet the national team players, just to meet them, to see, just 3 days, nothing more. And then after the competition, to start with the preparation for the this we are talking just the first part of the competition. It's been before the game against the New Zealand and then against Afghanistan. After the league, of course, I expect to collect the national team players to have long-term preparation. Then after that, after the June 9, when we had a game against Bangladesh, give the players, some players will go to the army to have an army competition. Some players should have a rest, and then during the summertime, I will see with them when it's possible to take to bring the players together and start with preparation for the September.
Okay, Coach, now we want a message from you to the players who are longing to join the national team, to be part of it. What can you say to them?
First of all, I expect and want the players knows that football is not easy. It's not just fun, and they have to work hard. National team players have to work more and harder than the other players if they want to be ready for such a strong games against New Zealand, Afghanistan, Qatar, and Iran friendly game, or Bangladesh. And they think that every day they have to be better and better. Thinking about themselves just to make fight with themselves, you know, not to compare with Ronaldo, with Messi. Just I think I have to be better today, tomorrow, better, and this is something. And they have to work more and harder than the other players.
Good. And a message to the fans?
The message to the fans, I hope so that we will have nice days together. Happy day, as I said before. I want to make them happy, enjoy it with the national team, and to see the players will fight for the Oman people, for the Oman national team, and this is the most important, to recognize something like that, and then everything is possible. The fans are the most important. Everything what we are doing because of fans, because to show them our performance on the game, and they have to enjoy and to be happy. And the fans is always the most important, not in Oman, in all the world.
It was our pleasure having you with us today, Coach. Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you all the best with our national team in the coming time.
Thank you very much. Thank you for invitation for your broadcast, and also the most important, everything what we are doing together, we are doing because of Oman football, Oman national team, and this is also one of the my goals to help to development football here in Oman.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. إذن مشاهدينا الكرام، سيرة ذاتية طيبة يتمتع بها الكرواتي برانكو إيفانكوفيتش. الرجل وعد بأنه سيعمل بجد واجتهاد لتحقيق الأهداف المرسومة من قبل الاتحاد العماني لكرة القدم، وأكد بأنه لا مستحيل في عالم المستديرة متى ما تضافرت جميع الجهود. نرجو كامل التوفيق والنجاح بإذن الله لهذا المدرب مع منتخبنا الوطني الأول خلال المرحلة القادمة، ليعود الأحمر مرة أخرى إلى وضعه الطبيعي.
الإدارة الحالية أنا أول مقال كتبته لأنها إدارة قديمة.
الوضع الاتحاد على فكرة واحد.
كل ما انتقدهم انا اخدم نفسي بعدين على اساس انهم يهتموا فيني.
هناك سلبيات وهناك ايجابيات وهناك حلول.